Hello everybody, this is Tarina. I am doing my planner pages. In previous videos I did my page dividers, and so right now I am using a stamp from Kelly Creates. It's to learn scripty brush lettering, but I'm using it as a stamp set. Just so that I don't have, I can practice, but you know. Anyways, so what I've done is I have cardstock that I have printed dots, dot grid on, and I've cut it down and punched holes in. I've taken a cup and I flipped it over and I drew that circle on each of my, kind of like the front page of each piece. And so I'm just stamping the word August, or kind of in a curve around that circle. Circle's going to kind of guide me in my idea. I really don't have an idea of what I want. As you can see, I'm just kind of trying things out. I'm gonna go ahead and put a mini calendar of August down here, and for the most part the cover page for each section is going to be the same or similar, but I'm going to I'm using a, what is that? I don't know if I have one, a precision pen from, I think it's who is it from? I don't remember who it's from. And the writing is all off of there. I want to say American Crafts, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm using that let's see, 0.3 and 0.8, and I've already kind of drawn this out, just a general idea of what I'm looking for, and I decided to just stick with it because I don't want it to be my video to be any longer than it already is. I'm not really all that fond of my handwriting because it's very rushed and but you know, I'm trying to learn how to be okay with it, so here I am just writing things out. I'm more of a stamper. I like things being nice and pretty, but this definitely gets me accustomed to and a little bit more comfortable just using my handwriting and my drawing style, which needs improvement. But this was a great way to learn what I need to work on and where I want to go with my drawing as well. And obviously these are very simple sketches and stuff like that, so I mean, it's not a big deal. And they change a little bit throughout the process as well. So here I'm doing a flower up in the corner, and it's, I don't know, all the flowers just end up a little bit different one way or another. So, and those ones are just freehand. I didn't draw those before I didn't pre-plan the flowers. I just decided I wanted them, and I do have stamp sets that I could have used, which would have made them a lot prettier, but then I would have had to block out things, and I didn't want to do all of that because my video was already as long or longer than I wanted it to be. So and this part of the video is actually done on a like a laptop table out in my living room, and so I knew I was going to be doing a voiceover, so I decided to just go and spend some time with the family while I was working at the same time. So, and these leaves are very, very, I'm not sure what the word is, random wispy, incomplete, open-ended. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of options you can call them, but I think they actually turned out pretty cute in the end. And none of this part was planned. I just kind of got an idea and just kind of went with it, and ended up with what I ended up with. Like I said, these flowers are very random. Obviously that one's got too small of a petal there, but nothing a couple of leaves can't fix, huh? Actually, I don't like that part at all, to be honest. So this total, all of these took me about, I would say probably about 3 hours to do all of my pages. A lot of it was repetitive because I did multiples of each page. Like the way that I'm planning my weeks are, I'm not doing it daily and I'm not doing it monthly. I'm doing it like weekly, if that makes sense. So I'm doing like week 1, week 2, but I'm doing the dates, August 12th through the 18th, and then 19th through the 25th, and that kind of thing. So it does kind of, it makes it easier to not have to do the weekly or the daily, log kind of thing, or agenda or whatever. I could just imagine if I were to have to do 30 days, oh my goodness, this thing would take forever. So, but that's not really, I found that's not really the way I work. I am more of a kind of mix and match throughout my week. I don't always feel like doing what I have set for that day unless it's something that I know is important for a specific day. So I've decided to go ahead and do it by week and then just split it up between work and home. Anything that's important, I have a spot at the bottom for. And that so far I've done, I've tried several different layouts as far as bullet journal layouts and whatnot. So this seems to work best for me. Of course, it can change. If I see something that may just work better, I would try it. So, so far so good. So these watercolors are the Walmart brand, I believe. Let me look. They are I believe they're Artist Loft watercolor paints, and they are in the tubes. They come in the tubes, and I just put them in my palette over here. And I am not a watercolorer. I would like to be one, of course, but this is like maybe the 3rd time I've ever watercolored, like as an adult. So this is a lot of learning and a lot of practicing and a lot of figuring out. I mean, I've watched a lot of videos, but that's not really doing. So figuring out the colors that I want to mix together and keeping the colors somewhere near the color palette of the documented collection, which I used for my my page dividers. Again, I'll leave the links to those in the description box below. The documented collection is one of my favorites. Of course, now they're coming out with 4 new collections, close to my heart, just in case you didn't know. Yeah, I smudged that one on the back side, which kind of sucks, but it won't hurt anything, so I'm just leaving it. But I did learn not to do that again. So, trying to mix up these papers. or not mix up these paints and get the right color and make sure I have enough. I think that's one of the things that I always run into, is not making enough of the color that I end up wanting to use, and then I have to remake it and it never turns out the same color. So in order to solve that problem, which it's not really a problem, but in order to solve that issue, I got myself some Arteza watercolor brush pens, and I am very excited. I haven't got to use them yet, but I am very excited to be able to use those on things like this. Hopefully September will be a little better, as far as I might just pull out my stamp set, because I have a stamp set that's new coming September, and I am very excited about using it. So now these flowers, and the colors of these flowers, I did not know what colors to use. I didn't know what colors I wanted, other than to say in the color palette of the documented collection. And those are mostly purples and like a saffron, orangey, yellow color. And so they also had like a sapphire blue navy color. And so I'm just trying to stick within that color palette. And then adding layers too, which I did not wait for them to dry. I'm trying to, like with the leaves, I wait for my second, woo, sorry about that guys, craziness and wobbly. Anyways, so I did wait for some of the leaves to dry to go back over their second coat. And I did that a little bit towards the end with the flowers, but for the most part, I'm just trying to mix colors that I like without making the flowers the same exact colors, which I totally could have made them the same colors, but I like to, maybe I was testing myself, who knows, I don't know. I always seem to want to try something new each time I do something, so perhaps that's what got a hold of me. So again, figuring out these colors is a new thing for me, and then pulling some of the water off and making sure I have the right amount of water. That's all, like, I know it takes a lot of practice to do that, so that's kind of where I am, practicing, lots and lots of practice, because I'm not sure. I could have dabbed it off with a paper towel, which I didn't realize I had in my room until after I made this video. But I just kept, like, if there was too much, I just kept pulling the ink from where there was too much and putting it to where there was none, so, or where there needed to be more, and just trying to pull it in so that it didn't go through. I would have to say there was very little bleed through on these papers, or through the paper, the cardstock, and I was very happy about that. I searched for something that was not just your average paper, because I knew it will go through if you watercolor or use a alcohol-based ink. They generally go through the back sides of the paper, and I didn't want that since mine were back-to-back. So let's see, I think I did a Nina White. I know it's not Solar White. Let me check real quick. Nina Bright White. And it's Nina Bright White, and it's 65-pound weight, and it's cardstock. So it really is kind of more of a cream color. It's not like a white color, and that part doesn't bother me at all. if my layout, if my dividers were white and it stood out like a sore thumb, I guess it might bug me, but the color palette in the documented collection is very earthy and warm and very, I want to say, fall theme for me. And so like not leaves per se, but like doors, like rustic vintage looking doors, and florals, and just the color palette is very, very, as you can tell, dark purples and mauves and like eggplant colors. And so the color of the paper doesn't bother me at all with that. I am so sorry about that wiggling. It's on a, like I'm using my cell phone, and this holder that I have is very wobbly if you accidentally bump it. And so I tried not to bump it, but with it being so close to me, it was really kind of difficult not to. And I didn't even realize that I was out of, like, the watercolor part is up at the top, but on some of them I was doing the bottom, and I think I cut those parts out. Maybe. Save some time. But they are, see, look at that. I went back. And that was out of focus. And I think this one I did the, yeah, I'm just going back in just to darken up the base of the leaf a little bit, give it a little bit more definition. And then I'm doing the flower. I'm just darkening some things up. Sorry about that. I'm not exactly sure why that's in there. And I'm adding some some paint to the agenda part. Okay. So this is where I decided to do the future cast for September. So if there's anything that stands out as far as something I need to make sure I include in September that I run into in August, since I don't have September made already, then I can go ahead and write it down here so that I make sure and I add it into my planner. It's kind of like a don't forget for next month kind of thing. So the trick to making sure that it erases nicely is to write very lightly. I really suck at writing very lightly, like really suck at it, but it does work. So here I've zoomed in a little bit and just filling in the leaves. And I think I think the speed on this was like 3 times the speed. Like I said, when I originally did it, it took like 3 hours, and so this video is around 45 minutes long, and I really didn't want it that long. I was hoping for like under a half hour, because you know that would be really nice. I mean, it'd be easy to see what I'm doing, but I'm also wanting to kind of show, you know, the process that I went through. Like somewhere in here, a couple of times I screwed up, and I did, like here I'm practicing my writing. I decide, you know what, I'm not going to practice it, I'm just going to write it. So, yeah, I ended up with that. But yeah, I did mess up a few times, and that's okay. I actually ended up having to redo a whole entire page because I messed up, but that's okay too. I learned. And writing these numbers tiny, I like writing big, because when I write tiny, it's just like, I don't know, it kind of strains my fingers. I know, whiny, huh? It looks cute though. Which, I got my ideas from other planners or bullet journalers. I don't have a specific one. I watch several videos and gather my ideas from those different videos, but there's a lot of people that do the same styles, so I can't really, drop it down to just one person, because most of this is a kind of a universal thing where they, the mini calendar is just, it's something that a lot of not Bible journalers, bullet journalers do. So here I go, drawing another ugly flower, or at least I see it. My first couple of ones I thought were like blah, blah, blah. I did not like them at all, and they did kind of grow on me. I'm thinking, I don't even know what flower they look like. I really don't. They kind of remind me of like a huge dianthus. And I'm sorry, I am totally off. There we go. I was going to say totally out of frame there. And I see that flower I did totally different. That one I totally could have left white, and it and just did some shading. It would have looked really pretty. Kind of like a daisy. I like daisies. Now this is, as the thing said, meal planning. So this is just kind of how I decided to do mine. I allotted space for the meal and the dessert and any added snacks. I've also allotted a space for extra meals, just in case I want to be able to plan an extra meal in there, just in case we end up just like, I don't feel like that, and then want to throw in something different. If we don't feel like that, let's feel like this instead, and that's fine. So it just gives me 8 options. So and this flower got a little jaggedy, but I just kind of went off the page with it and just kind of continued on to the last page. And I didn't do that with all of them, just this particular one. So now I'm going to spend a little bit of time erasing all my lines. And I'm pretty certain that I didn't do all of these on, because I did, say that'd be 4.5 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks of these. So I did, I showed some of them, and then I switched to watercoloring just because I wanted to show you guys, kind of my ideas to what I was doing for my meal planning. And then I went in, this is my second coat on my leaves. And look, I'm letting them dry. And again, I'm just placing a little bit of it's the same. Sometimes I use the same color and just put them in down by the centers, and then sometimes it's I just add a little bit more green and blue, and I'm sure those have names other than just green or blue, but I put those in, add it, and make it just a tiny bit darker. So again, I'm just adding some of the watercolor just to make it stand out. And I'm going in with more of a tone that is not anywhere in the documented collection, but it's in the same tones. So that's what made it okay for me. And again, I'm still trying to figure out what colors I'm wanting to use. That's one of the things about starting planning and starting bullet journaling and starting watercoloring. I'm kind of doing it all. I mean, I've been planning for a while, not like regularly, I guess. I kind of fall out of it, and then I fall back in, or then I choose to go back in and, you know, work at it more and that kind of thing. I really would like to be regular with it, so that's something I'm working on too, but I kind of made it all very new. Like with the watercoloring and the actually drawing everything out, and I haven't really done that. Most of what I've done is just kind of writing it down, not really a whole lot. So this is kind of new for me as well, which is probably why it took me so long to do. But I'm hoping it will inspire you guys to get creative and try new things. And if you want to bullet journal and plan, you can do that same thing. And I'm going, like I said, next month I'm probably going to use I'm probably going to use the same layout, but I'm going to do probably use a stamp set or some stamp sets and make the drawing of the outside of like the flowers and stuff like that easier and less time consuming, because I scrapbook and I make cards, and I do a lot of other things as well. So I like spending time with my family. I don't want, you know, all of my time spent on work. So which is why the first half of this video was, you know, out in the living room with my family. So but I think using stamps would make it, I think it would go a whole lot quicker. Like, the leaves weren't bad. It did take a little bit of time to do the leaves. And here I'm just kind of showing you guys a little bit of a flip through. And I'm doing another one of these. The swirly thing, when I first did it, I was like, oh no, I really don't like that. And then once I decided, okay, I'm just going to do leaves around it, I kind of wanted to do flowers, but then I was like, I have a line. I don't really have a place for my flowers now, so, because if I did flowers, I definitely want them on top of the line, and I can't erase the line, so I just decided to go with it. Which again, next month I can try again and mask things off if I want, or just use that circle as a guide and just make like a wreath with all my flowers. I can do whatever I want to, which is going to be awesome. I was thinking maybe I should do like September in the center and mask off September and then stamp the flowers and stuff over the top of that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to really think about that, because September is coming up really fast. My kids are going to be starting school within the next couple of weeks, and then we've got birthdays and all kinds of stuff going on, so lots of back to school stuff. But I think once they start school, I think things will start calming down a little bit, and I will have more crafty work freedom. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, that means earlier hours too, because, you know, gotta wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, 5:45, 5:30. It's not nice. So this is my budget. Did I write budget on the front? I should have written budget on the front. I watched it, but I don't remember what I did. Oops. So, yeah, I didn't write budget, did I? So this is my budget place. Now that I have money coming in thanks to my customers, I want to keep track of what's coming in and what goes out so that I can keep up with my YouTube channel and my Facebook page and my Facebook shop and things like that. So I think it'll be very useful to keep track of what I have going in and out, because doing this for a living is not free. As lovely as that would be like amazing to be able to craft for free. But yeah, alas, the world doesn't work that way. So this one I did. This page on the right here is one of the ones that I messed up on, and so when I first did it, I did a line straight across just like the left side, and I barely left any room for what I was going to write for the like hostess rewards, and I didn't like it. And then I messed up the word on the bottom. I was supposed to do Close to My Heart Cash, which is, if you don't know, I'm a consultant for Close to My Heart. I'll leave the link in the description box below. Or you can look at some of my other videos. I'm sure there's, like I was talking about the documented collection and all of that. So all that information will be down below. But anyways, so I messed up on that and I had to totally scrap the whole thing. And so I decided to write exactly what I wanted there and then do a little bit of sprig along each side of the title of those pieces down there. And that worked out pretty good. So I'm definitely more happy with that than I was the original. Okay, that kind of gets me to thinking maybe I should start doing like a blooper oops reel at the end. I guess I would definitely make this an hour long, huh? Yeah, I won't be doing that just for the sake of time. But again, these colors that is very close to the flaxen. It's kind of a gold rush flaxen color, if you're not sure what I'm talking about. The Close to My Heart has a, let's see, it's 40, I figured it out, 42 color, well, 40 color palette, and then you add in the black and white. And flaxen and gold rush are two of the colors. Flaxen? It's not flaxen. It's saffron. Saffron, not flaxen. Saffron. Anyway, saffron and gold rush are both a color in their color palette, and I'm not that much of a fan of, what is it, saffron, but as you can see, it does look pretty on flowers. So, you know, it has its place. I don't care much for it on its own, but once you add in different tones and everything, of course, like every color in the world has its place. But yeah, I'm still not a fan of saffron. I like gold rush, but I'm not very much of an orangey person either, and I'm not sure why. I don't know what it is about that. And like the orangey reds, I don't like the orangey reds either. Orangey reds and oranges and like anything that's like an I don't know, orangey anything, really. But so let's see, what am I doing now? I don't even remember what I'm doing now. Oh. I think I'm mixing a color so that I can do the lines on these, and I didn't have to do this. I could have just left it, but I figured it's going to be easier for me to distinguish what I'm looking at in the first place if I have different colored lines. So I'm just going along my little dot grid as a guide, and here I'm trying to add some more color. It just wasn't looking right. And here I'm going to do the same. And one thing that I like about watercolor is that it's all different. It's not the same. Like that line sticks out like a sore thumb, but it's a pretty color, and it's a variant of the same color that I was using for the rest of them. And even the lighter ones are, you know, it all just looks so pretty. I love watercolor. I just suck at watercoloring because I haven't had any practice, so you guys get to see me work on this for the first time, second time, third time, something like that. I have watercolored with ink pads before. And that's one of my favorite things to do, but it doesn't make it any easier for me to do. First off, I'm impatient. Very impatient. I don't want to wait for things to dry. I want them to just hurry up and dry, and it's funny too, because like with my kids, I am like extra patient. And then when it comes to watercolor, I'm just like no patience whatsoever. I try to have patience, and I'm working at it, but I'm a dry it because it's not drying fast enough kind of person when it comes to watercolor. Okay, so I think I do go with a little touch of black, which kind of makes it a gray, and I go over that. And I can't remember if it sticks or not. So this one is, I think this is my project. Yep, this is my project's one here. And this is just kind of a place where I can write what kind of what projects I want to do at home or for work. Not really project planning, just like general ideas that I may want to bring to life. My agenda is for things that are actually planned. Like I actually have a planner that is for projects. So it will pretty much go from this page to my project planner, and then from a project planner to my agenda. And it's just kind of a process that tells me, you know, which things are ideas. I mean, they're all ideas, but which things are ideas that I actually want to, you know, actually bring into this world and work on. So, yeah, it sounds like I'm having a baby. Ideas are kind of babies. Anyways, so, yep, that one was just kind of off the top of my head. I knew kind of what I wanted, but I didn't really know the layout that I was going for, or where I wanted my leaves. Sorry about my face. Ooh, that one went on nice. And that is pretty easy. That one did not go on so easy. See, and then trying to get those same colors. I was trying to get them to dry so they were swirling around, or I was waving the paper around, trying to get it to dry faster. See, that's terrible. Okay, it's not really terrible. It's just, you don't want to do that on camera. So anyways, I decided it was dry enough to add my second coat of leaves. Told you I was impatient. So that was my second coat. And let's see, what am I doing next? I am looking over everything and just making sure everything is there. And then, see how those colors changed? I went from like a purpley lavendery color to the pinky. I graduated into more of a pinky color. See how that's different? That's crazy. I didn't even notice that. So this is going to be an inspirational quote that I found on Pinterest, and it was literally, I just looked up quote or inspirational quote or something. I don't remember what I looked up. And it was like one of the second ones on the list. And so I was like, okay, that sounds perfect. Especially for projects, because, you know, if I can have some help figuring out which ones I should do, which ones you guys are more likely to like and inspire you guys, then that's what I want to do, is I want to be able to inspire you guys and help you guys grow and be creative. Your kind of creative, not necessarily mine, but yours. What, you know, the kind of creative that is specific to you and your style. So I messed up on one of those words. Obviously, it looked terrible. So I just covered it up with it's pretty sure it's a Post-it note, or a piece of Post-it note, and decided to do 2 of them. I probably should have done 3, but I didn't want too much on there. So, and then I went and added my leaves, and then I add some more leaves, and then I had some more watercolor. Here comes the yawn. It's not even morning anymore, and I'm still yawning. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this. I knew that I wanted more, I wanted color that wasn't just the big, huge purple pieces, which I'm not really a fan of, but I decided it was one of those things that I just need to let go. I didn't have any ideas on how to fix it other than that, and so I decided to just cover it up and move on. Again, really the length of the video is kind of taken into account with that. I didn't, you know, that was a quick fix, and it was something that I could live with, and that's what I decided to go with. And honestly, it's not the look that I'm going for, it's the message. That, you know, energy, life energy that is all around us, which I consider God. He's not really, I don't know. Anyways, it's, if you open your eyes to the possibilities that you know, that are available, you're more likely to see them. And so this is a flower, and how I made it into a what are those? A paper clip. I just glued it together, and this is kind of a flip through of everything. A lot of this was Dollar Tree stuff like that. And then I'm just kind of flipping through. I kind of want to like this to be a little bit slower, but you know, time, I really got to do time. So, my budget. So, if you want to see the rest of the things that I have, then I will leave the link in the description box below, and I will talk to you later. Bye!